Okay, my friends, welcome back. So the last little part of the temperature variation section of the lab um, is just making a pretty simple line graph of three of the locations that are chosen here, but not your choice of locations. So there's three locations that you may have noticed are at the same exact latitude that are spanning across the United States. We got San Diego, Dallas, Texas, or San Diego, California, Dallas, Texas, and Charleston, South Carolina. They are pretty much all the same latitude, but they are at different locations around the United States. Think about where these locations are. I mean, you've plotted them on your maps, hopefully, by this point. But basically, and think about the environmental conditions that are around there. Also, pro tip, when you're doing that latitude longitude map, you can definitely like Google map these locations to make sure that you're at least getting close to them. Might be helpful. So if they're at the same latitude, then theoretically they should all have the same average temperatures and the same temperature range. But that's not what we observe. And there's reasons for that because of their environmental conditions, because of where they're located, what other things they're located near. San Diego, right next to a pretty chilly ocean. Dallas, Texas, in the middle of freaking nowhere, does not have any influence of any immediate water that could influence the climate. And then Charleston, South Carolina is also near an ocean. However, it is a much warmer ocean than the Pacific Ocean. The Atlantic, especially in that location, is much, much, much warmer than the Pacific Ocean. And there's reasons for that we'll get to later in the semester. So what you're going to do, because you've already filled out the average temperature, or the average monthly temperatures for those locations. So now I'm going to show you how to make a simple, quick and dirty graph, but not using those particular locations, just of some that I have of the other locations in your spreadsheet. So going back to my spreadsheet here. So what you could do to select the regions that you want to make a graph of, what I think is easiest is to at least drag, click and drag the, on the left side for the rows, clicking and dragging from 1 to 4. So that highlights in like this blue, light blue highlight, the rows that are selected, or the cells that are selected. And from here, I'm going to go to Insert, Chart, and there she is. It's beautiful. You can do a combo chart. You could just maybe do a straight up line chart. You could do just a column chart. You know, this is your graph, so I want you to make it your own. Something that may occur when you are selecting these, the locations that are on your spreadsheet, because they might be a little bit farther away from where the months are. Say, for example, I'm going to go back to a copy that I have here, actually. Sorry, hang on. So I'm going to copy these and just put it into, just to kind of show you exactly what I mean. So if I say have it further down the spreadsheet than where I'm initially showing, and I just select these rows, I can go once again to Insert, Chart. But now it looks a little bit funky, right? So what we have to do is we have to look over here in the chart editor part and see where it says x-axis. So it's trying to put this data to the x-axis, and that's not exactly what we want to do. So you're going to remove that there, but we want to still add an x-axis, and you can actually just go ahead and select that. So if I double click on that, add an x-axis, search, or do here, A1 to M1. Okay, and then there we go. So I just added that in there. So again, I just went to the x-axis part, and we do also want to continue to add a series. We want to also add San Diego in here, right? Obviously, these are not the actual temperatures for Dallas, Charleston, and San Diego, but this is how you could do it. Alternatively, you could copy and paste the actual values for San Diego through Charleston into a new sheet with the months up above. Really, whatever works for you, as long as you have your months on the x-axis and your temperature on the y-axis. There's some other things that you could also do to your spreadsheet. Well, first of all, the main things we have to do is make our title better and to add our axis titles, right? These numbers could mean strawberries and bananas for all that I know, but you got to explicitly tell me what these are. So again, to do that, you're going to go to Customize, Chart and Axis Titles, and this isn't a good title for this. A better title would be Southern U.S. Temperature variation. Oops, I can spell. Oh my gosh, I really cannot spell. Variation. And then to add a vertical axis title, you just click on that in the drop down, and this would be temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Really important to add the units there. And then my horizontal axis title is, of course, months. So that would be a better finished product here. So a good title, your label or your legend is labeled, your axes are labeled, then this would be a good graph. Once you're ready with your graph to put it into the Google Doc, you can take a screenshot. But let me show you something that I found relatively kind of soon, or a few months ago, is if you go to just like, kind of click a little bit down or whatever, maybe even do like a new line, go to Insert in your Google Doc now, go to Chart, and you're going to go from Sheets. So this is another beautiful thing. If you're working on Google Drive with Google Docs and Google Sheets, you can literally input the graph from a sheet that you have. So I say a copy of graphs, that's what this is called. And I think, here we go. There's the graph I want to put in here. And voila! But say I didn't really like that title, or I really want to have the temperature variation part of it actually, what's it called? Capitalized. So I'm be like, okay, Southern U.S. temperature variation, but maybe a better way to call it is monthly temperature variation. Made that change. Okay. Kind of got to give it a second. Then we can go back to my chart and see how it says update. Now I can do update, and it updates the graph from the little modification that I did to it. Isn't that cool? So like, I think it's a really, really nice tool when you're thinking about doing things of this nature, of adding graphs to documents straight from Google Sheets to Docs. So that would be a way to make the graph. If you're using Excel, the process is relatively the same, the copy and pasting from everything and making the line graph. The biggest things that I recommend, or that I require, excuse me, from all of the graphs, whatever software you're using, a good title, axis titles, and a labeled legend. All right. If you need any help with any of this, please reach out and let me know, and I can do my best to help us. All right. Thank you so much for watching.